At arms!
My king.
Your emperor. One of Europe's most successful military leaders, tyrant and egotistical emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte. The journey of Napoleon's life starts in 1769 on the island of Corsica, which was then a part of the French Republic. His family was of Italian descent and they were minor nobles with limited means. His father, Carlo Bonaparte, was a lawyer and his mother, Letizia Ramolino, came from a respected Corsican family. In his early years, Napoleon received some education at home, mostly from his mother and a local priest. He displayed a keen interest in reading and history from a young age, devouring books about military campaigns and great leaders of the past. His passion for learning and his exposure to the ideas of the Enlightenment contributed to shaping his intellectual curiosity and ambition. At the age of 9, Napoleon was sent to France to study at the Royal Military School in Brienne-le-Château. His time there was challenging due to his Corsican accent, which made him an outsider among his peers. However, he excelled in mathematics and stood out as a talented and ambitious student. In 1784, at the age of 15, Napoleon received a scholarship to attend the prestigious École Militaire in Paris. During this time, he further honed his military knowledge and skills, nurturing his ambition to achieve greatness on the battlefield. 5 years later, France was plunged into chaos with the French Revolution and the abolishment of the monarchy. King Louis XVI and his family were beheaded, and the years that followed were years of unrest and civil war, so known as the Years of Terror. It was during those years that young Napoleon began making a name for himself. His triumphs began with the Siege of Toulon in 1793, where he displayed exceptional tactical skills, leading to his promotion to Brigadier General at just 24 years old. However, it was during the Italian campaigns of 1796 to 1797 that Napoleon's military genius truly shone. Through a series of stunning victories against the Austrians and their allies, he had demonstrated his ability to outmaneuver larger enemy forces, earning him widespread acclaim and establishing his reputation as a formidable military commander. These successes greatly contributed to his growing influence within the French political landscape. As he gained popularity and support from both soldiers and civilians, Napoleon's path to power became clearer. The French government from 1795 to 1799 was known as the Directory and becoming increasingly unstable. Seizing this opportunity, Napoleon and a group of politicians staged a coup d'etat on November 9, 1799. The coup successfully dissolved the Directory and established the consulate, with Napoleon as its first consul, effectively making him ruler of France. In a bold and audacious move that would resonate through history, Napoleon Bonaparte crowned himself Emperor of the French on December 2, 1804, during a grand ceremony at the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Breaking with tradition, he seized the imperial crown from the Pope's hands and placed it on his own head, symbolizing his belief in the divine right of rulers and his rejection of the Church's authority over temporal matters. This self-coronation exemplified Napoleon's unyielding ambition and marked a pivotal moment in his transformation from a revolutionary military leader to an absolute monarch. Napoleon Bonaparte embarked on his conquest of Europe fueled by an insatiable hunger for personal ambition and a thirst for greatness. His unyielding belief in the ideals of the French Revolution spurred him into spreading liberty, equality, and fraternity across the continent, convinced that the French model of government could reshape Europe for the better. Exploiting the turmoil and instability that gripped the continent, Napoleon saw an opportune moment to extend his influence, neutralize threats from rival powers, and protect France from foreign invasion. This amalgamation of personal drive, political strategy, revolutionary fervor, and calculated pragmatism would set in motion a series of campaigns that forever altered the course of European history, leaving an indelible mark on nations, borders, and the collective memory of an era. Napoleon's first major battle in his conquest of Europe, and arguably his most profound display of genius military leadership, was the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805. Facing a formidable coalition of Austria and Russia, the French emperor meticulously crafted a brilliant and audacious strategy that exploited his enemies' overconfidence and tactical errors. As the first rays of dawn illuminated the frost-covered landscape, the vast enemies converged on the plains of Austerlitz, determined to secure victory. Unleashing a masterstroke of military brilliance, Napoleon orchestrated a daring maneuver that seemed to defy the very laws of war. Lulling his adversaries into a false sense of security by appearing weak in the center, he expertly directed his forces to outflank and encircle the unsuspecting enemy, ensnaring them in the deadly trap known as the Hollow Square. The thunderous roar of cannons echoed across the battlefield as disciplined French troops surged forward, their fighting spirit emboldened by the genius of their leader. The momentum of the attack proved unstoppable, and the coalition's resistance crumbled beneath the relentless onslaught. In a mere matter of hours, their once mighty coalition lay broken, and Napoleon stood victorious, securing not only his reputation as a military genius, but also shaping the destiny of Europe for years to come. Battle of Austerlitz, often referred to as the Battle of the Three Emperors, remains a timeless testament to Napoleon's strategic brilliance and indomitable spirit on the blood-soaked fields of glory. From the resounding victory at Austerlitz in 1805, Napoleon Bonaparte continued his relentless conquest of Europe, defeating the Prussians at Jena-Auerstedt in 1806 and consolidating his hold over the continent. Triumphs in battle like Friedland in 1807 led to the Treaty of Tilsit, granting France extensive territorial gains. However, Napoleon's overreaching ambition and the disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812 marked the beginning of his decline. Facing the united opposition of European powers, he suffered a significant defeat at Leipzig in 1813. Following a series of smaller defeats, Napoleon abdicated the throne on April 6, 1814, effectively ending his rule as Emperor of the French. As part of the Treaty of Fontainebleau, he was granted sovereignty over the island of Elba in the Mediterranean, where he would be allowed to rule as a sovereign, albeit in a limited capacity. He arrived on Elba on May 4, 1814, officially commencing his first exile. During this period, he retained the title of emperor but lacked any real political influence over France. However, his time on Elba was short-lived, as he managed to escape the island and return to France in March 1815, beginning the period known as the 100 Days, marking the time period until the famous Battle of Waterloo. The Battle of Waterloo, fought on June 18, 1815, near the town of Waterloo in present-day Belgium, was a momentous and decisive conflict that marked the final chapter of Napoleon Bonaparte's military career. In this epic showdown, the forces of Napoleon representing France faced the 7th Coalition, a combined army led by the Duke of Wellington of Britain and Prussian Marshal Gebhard Leberecht von Blücher. The battle commenced with French artillery fire that relentlessly bombarded the coalition's position. The strategic placement of Wellington's infantry and skilled use of the terrain provided a formidable defense against the French assaults. Throughout the day, fierce and bloody combat raged, with both sides displaying unwavering determination and valor. As the day wore on, Napoleon made a pivotal but fateful decision to send in the Imperial Guard, his elite troops, in a final attempt to break through the coalition's lines. This audacious move, known as the Attack of the Old Guard, was met with staunch resistance from Wellington's seasoned soldiers. Additionally, the timely arrival of Blücher's Prussian forces further tipped the balance against Napoleon. In a crucial moment, the coalition's troops launched a counter-offensive that led to the French lines crumbling under the relentless assault. The French army's morale began to falter and panic set in. Witnessing the dire situation, Napoleon had no choice but to order a retreat. The Battle of Waterloo ended in a resounding victory for the 7th Coalition, dealing a crushing blow to Napoleon's hopes of reclaiming his former glory. His defeat ultimately marked the end of his reign as Emperor of the French and initiated his second and final exile to the remote island of St. Helena, where he would live out the remainder of his life. Napoleon Bonaparte, beyond his conquest, significantly transformed France through a series of ambitious reforms. He introduced the Napoleonic Code, a comprehensive legal system emphasizing equality, protection of property, and abolition of feudal privileges. Streamlining the country's administrative structure, he divided France into departments and communes, ensuring more effective governance. Napoleon focused on education, establishing state-run schools called lycées to promote meritocracy and societal mobility. He stabilized France's finances and improved its tax system, fostering economic growth. Additionally, he struck a conciliatory agreement with the Pope through the Concordat of 801, recognizing Catholicism as the majority religion while safeguarding religious freedoms. Napoleon invested in infrastructure development, supported the arts and sciences, and promoted centralized power, leaving a lasting legacy that profoundly shaped France's modernization and influenced the course of European history. I hope you enjoyed this video about Napoleon Bonaparte. If you did, liking, sharing, and subscribing helps my channel a lot, and with that said, hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.